loud.
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 Warrior Class Optimus Prime, and I love this toy. Released in January of 2015, this guy is brand new and is starting to hit stores right now as of the time of this recording, and it's retailing for approximately $15 depending on where you find him. Here in truck mode, he's approximately 6.5 inches long, and it's about 2.5 inches tall. So yeah, this is the brand new Robots in Disguise Warrior Class for the new series that's going to be coming out later this year. So Warrior Class is kind of like the new deluxe class for this new Robots in Disguise series. And so check him out. Here he is in his new truck mode. And where before with the smaller figure, with the Legends figure, I mentioned that he sort of reminded me of kind of like Star Convoy did. This guy here in Warrior Class is kind of giving me more of a kind of like an Action Master Optimus Prime vibe, that old G1 Action Master truck. That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting from this, and I'm really loving that. This guy looks a lot like that old truck, and I really, really like that about this guy. So, just going around, you can see he's just the old one piece. He's the truck and trailer, but it's all one piece, so he's not going to have any turn at the tractor trailer part here. He's got the Autobot scan right there, so if you're playing the game on your phone, you can go ahead and scan him and get yourself a new Optimus Prime class for your game. So you've got yourself your red cab with your blue trailer, and you've got some red detail there on the trailer. Again, no silver on the wheels, and I like my silver on the wheels, but I don't know if I'm going to paint these yet until I see it on the show. So we'll just have to wait and see. And coming around the back, you can see where the feet are going to be later in robot mode. More about the size. You can look at the bottom there. You can kind of see through the back part of the truck there. And there's the top of the truck there. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm really digging this this design for this truck. Now, one thing to keep in mind with these new Warrior Class, and you know, the Robots in Disguise line in general, there's a lot of complaints about this line being kind of a kiddie line or too simplified, you know. And the thing to keep in mind, in my opinion, is you got to look at the target demographic. This is the line that's going to be aimed at the kids. This is the line that's going to have a cartoon on TV. So this line is meant to be simplified and easier for little hands to be able to pick these guys up and play with. You know, if you're looking for something a little more complicated, I think Hasbro is doing a pretty good job with the Generations lines, with giving us a little more detail and more complicated transformations and a little more collector-oriented product when it comes to the Generations line. But with this Robots in Disguise line, keep in mind that this is going to be a little more aimed towards a younger crowd. So just keep that in mind if you're going into this line. Optimus here does come with a weapon. He does come with this axe, which is a pretty cool looking axe. And they did actually implement a storage for him in their vehicle mode, which I appreciate. It's a storage mode that's not the weapon sticking out. So they did try. It's not the best, but they did try. If you look at the weapon here at the actual axe, there's these two grooves, one on each side, right there and right there. And then also on the handle, he's got a couple of grooves right there and right there. So if you look on the back of the truck, you can see two slots there, and you can see two slots there. So what you're meant to do is slot this guy in right back here, and then you can slot it also in the front there. Now, the issue that I'm having is that when I slot it into the front, the back tends to pop up, and it's not doing it terribly right now, but it does tend to pop up a little bit. So there you go. That's the intended vehicle or weapon storage right there in vehicle mode, which is not terrible. I think, and this has been said before, I think they could have used all this space down here a little better to hide the weapon down here. They've got plenty of room to put that weapon in there, and it wouldn't have been noticeable, and you wouldn't have had that shark fin up there. But as it is, it's not terrible, and it's not a weapon sticking out of a vehicle in attack mode. So I appreciate the effort there. So that's pretty cool. So getting into transformation is relatively simple. Again, before we go into transformation, let's just for comparison, here he is next to Warrior Class Bumblebee from the same line for Robots in Disguise. So you go there, you can see what they look like side by side. And, you know, in robot mode, they're going to look very good side by side because they're going to be approximately the same size in robot mode. Unfortunately, what that means is that in vehicle mode, they're kind of out of scale, where Optimus should have been a bigger size truck. Definitely considerably bigger than Bumblebee's sports car mode. Unfortunately, that just kind of makes for a small truck. So that's a bit unfortunate. So there you go. You can see what they look like side by side. Getting into transformation. Again, transformation is relatively simple. I am going to move this camera up a little bit because we are going to get a little bit tall. There you go. So we're going to start right here at the sides where the smoke techs are at. Just go ahead and separate these sides here where these wheels are at. These guys are going to come down. There's a tab here that's going to go into the slot down there. And that's just going to peg in right in there. Same thing on both sides. And then you can unpeg the feet down there on the bottom. Take the whole robot right here at the waist and turn him around. Come up here to the front of the truck where the grill is at. Separate him. Or separate the grill rather. And bring it down to the sides. Turn them to the front. Unpeg the fists are actually holding onto a peg right there in the shoulder. So you're going to unpeg the fist from that peg right there. Bring it down and turn it. Same thing on this side. Bring it down and turn it. Go ahead and take his shoulders. Rotate these guys down. And you can see the Autobot logo now facing straight ahead there. And then finally, the head is right in there. You just go ahead and pop this guy up and it's going to click in place. And there is Robots in Disguise, Warrior Class, Optimus Prime, and Robot Mode. And I really love the way this Robot Mode looks. Here in Robot Mode, Optimus is approximately 5.5 inches tall. As far as articulation goes, you can turn the head side to side. I guess you can kind of go up and down a little bit because he's got his, he doesn't have a ball joint. His head is on that little platform that just kind of elevates for transformation. So I guess you could kind of make him look up a little bit, but his head is going to sink some. But he can turn, so you can turn his head side to side. You've got a hinge right here at the shoulder, so you can turn it all the way around. And then you've got another hinge inside of the shoulder there for transformation, so you can kind of bring your shoulder up a little bit. The elbow is on a ball joint, so you can turn the elbow, you can spin the elbow. You got a good range of movement there. Due to transformation, you've got a rotation at the waist. You've got a universal joint at the hip right here, so you can go in and out, and you can go forward and backwards. You've got a rotation right there above the, I guess, at the thigh right there. You've got a nice bend at the knee, and that is going to be about it. So, yeah, like I said, I'm really digging this robot mode. I love the way this guy looks. And again, for robot mode, for truck mode, he kind of looked like Action Master Prime's truck mode did for me. But here in robot mode, once again, this guy really harkens back to that Star Convoy for me. I really love the way that looks. Now, one minor gripe, I wish I would have found a way to change this, is these kind of these plates, I guess you can call these armor plates or these grill plates, right here on the fists. They're not as bad in person as I thought. I've seen these guys in pictures, and I've seen videos of this guy, and every time I've seen this guy online, these things just look terrible to me, and I just thought I was going to hate these. I have to say, they're not as bad in person as I thought they were going to be, but they're still kind of bad, you know. I think it would have been relatively easy. See, there's no rotation on this. There's no pivot. There's no anything. I wish they could have, at the very least, put a pivot here to make these plates rotate back at least so that you could have the fists completely exposed. At the very least, I wish I could have done that. Even better if they would have just kept these attached to this part of the truck here and have it rotate back here behind his back somehow. I don't know. I don't mind the wheel so much. If you got to keep the wheel on the arm, that's fine. But this whole plate just covering up his fist, that really kind of bugs me. Again, not as bad in person as I thought when I saw him online. I thought it looked a lot worse in pictures and in video. Not as bad in person, but still, it's pretty bad. I really don't care for those plates there. And we'll go ahead and give him his weapon so you can see what he looks like with his axe. And we'll see if we can give him a cool ready stance there. There you go. And once again, for comparison, here he is with Bumblebee, who he will be mentoring in a sort of Obi-Wan Kenobi-esque kind of way on the show. So there you go. And there you go. See, they're kind of comparable in robot mode. Pretty much the same size. I would like to see. I don't know if they're going to come up with a Voyager size for this new cartoon line, but I would like to see this Optimus in a Voyager size. I think he would scale really nicely with these Warrior guys. You know, in robot mode, he would be a little bigger, and then the vehicle mode would probably look nice side by side with these guys. I don't know if they're going to do that. That's just kind of a wish list kind of thing for me. So there you go. There he goes. There he was next to Bumblebee. And I think that is going to do it for this guy. I'm really enjoying this guy. Again, I know he's not as detailed or or as articulated, and he's got he's obviously less steps. It's a lot more simplified transformation. Stuff like these plates on the arms and stuff like that. Stuff like this is happening now. Again, the thing to keep in mind, and this kind of thing does not bother me. I understand where they're coming from. The thing to keep in mind is that this line is specifically meant for children. If you think back to, for example, if just jump in the Wayback Machine with me for just a minute. Let's go back to the time of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, the second Michael Bay movie. The big demographic for that movie was children. And let's be fair, a lot of those toys required an engineering degree to transform them. Those toys were extremely complicated, and a lot of kids would get them, and they would be frustrated because they couldn't transform them. They'd give them to the parents, and the parents couldn't figure them out either. So, that ended up hurting the line, and that we saw that when the third movie toy line came about. That toy line did not do as well because parents didn't want to get those toys for the kids. So, this whole movement to simplify some of these lines for the kids, it makes sense. The kids need to be able to play with these. If you think back to G1, a lot of the G1 figures that we had as kids, the only articulation that those guys had were the arms. Let's face it, most of those guys were bricks. You could move the arms, sometimes you could move the heads. That was about it, and we loved them. We thought they were the greatest toys ever. So let's be fair. I mean, comparatively speaking, engineering-wise, you compare this to a G1 toy, this is still superior to a G1 toy, just in articulation alone, in size. So, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that comment, but I mean, just engineering, speaking from an engineering standpoint. So, let's be fair. This is meant for smaller kids, and I think it's a great toy for kids. Kids are going to be able to pick this up, play with it. He's only like 8 or 9 steps, I think. Let me check it out. Yep, he's exactly 9 steps. So kids are going to be able to pick this up and play with it. He's a fun toy. He looks great. I like him. I understand that not everybody's going to. But again, for the more collector-oriented stuff, we still have Generations. We have Masterpiece. We still have options for the collectors as well. So I think I've rambled on enough. So I think that is going to do it for Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 Warrior Class Optimus Prime. What do you think of this figure? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you in between? Is there another figure that you would like for me to review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment. Give me some thumbs up, subscribe, and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.